What if one of the greatest stars in women's basketball was living a lie and the entire league knew about it? That's the question Riley Gaines, once known only for her fierce battles in a swimming pool, is now asking about Brittney Griner and the WNBA, with allegations of a systematic cover-up reaching the highest levels of professional women's sports. The controversy is exploding, and if even a shred of this is true, it could rip apart the foundations of the entire league. But before we get to those claims, let's rewind to where this all began. Riley Gaines never planned to become a lightning rod. After all, she'd made her name as an NCAA swimmer, a champion who pushed boundaries until she tied against Lia Thomas, a transgender athlete whose participation ignited a firestorm. That moment changed everything for Gaines. She stepped out of the water and straight into the biggest culture war of modern sports, determined to defend what she saw as the rightful place of female athletes. In her mind, this was about more than trophies. It was about safety, about fairness, about protecting spaces that women had fought to claim for decades. And that mission, she says, had overwhelming public support, even if powerful institutions were too afraid to say it out loud. But why, out of all the battles she could have picked, did Riley Gaines suddenly focus on Brittney Griner? If you'd asked anyone just 2 years ago, Brittney Griner was untouchable, a towering, unstoppable force with multiple WNBA titles, international gold, and a highlight reel that made the world stand still. Her story took a surreal turn when she was arrested in Russia and swapped in a high-profile prisoner trade that had all of America watching. When Griner returned, the WNBA welcomed her as a living legend. Signs, chants, hashtags, everyone cheered. Free BG had become more than a slogan. She was more than just an athlete now. She was a symbol of hope, survival, and national pride. Who would dare question a national hero? But underneath that heroic glow, something else was brewing, and Riley Gaines claimed to know exactly what it was. According to Gaines, the league had sent down a message so clear no one dared to break it. Do not talk about Brittney Griner's gender identity. Don't mention it, don't question it, don't even joke about it. If you want to stay in the league, you stay silent. That, Gaines says, was the chilling directive. She believes WNBA officials were terrified of a public scandal, terrified that any investigation might challenge Griner's place in women's sports. And the consequences? Gaines claims she was shut out from events, blacklisted from interviews, even labeled a bigot for raising questions. If even a fraction of this were proven, it wouldn't just be a PR crisis. It could blow up the entire sport. And what would happen if those secrets ever came to light? The WNBA is already a delicate business. Smaller profits, fragile TV deals, and a brand carefully built around social justice and diversity. If Gaines is telling the truth, the league would face lawsuits from players demanding fair competition, from sponsors who feel misled, even from angry fans who believe they were watching authentic women's sports. It wouldn't stop there. Politicians would hold hearings, regulators would swarm, and the legacy of the WNBA, a legacy it has fought to protect for nearly 3 decades, could collapse overnight. And what about Brittney Griner's personal records? Her trophies, awards, championships, they would all fall under suspicion. Imagine having to strip MVP titles or rewrite entire chapters of sports history. Could a single scandal really be enough to destroy the WNBA? That's the nightmare scenario for a league that has branded itself as the champion of inclusivity. The WNBA has worn its progressive values on its sleeve, celebrating LGBTQ communities and positioning itself as the most welcoming professional sports league in America. Its leadership publicly cheered that identity, turning it into a selling point, a reason to watch. But if these allegations of a gender identity cover-up are real, the league's entire image would shatter in seconds. Fans would feel betrayed, partners would question their values, and the public would see the difference between what the league preaches and what it protects behind the scenes. For some, that hypocrisy would be unforgivable. And then, just when the league hoped the rumors might die down, one courtside moment poured gasoline on the flames. It happened in a blink. During a heated game between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever, Brittney Griner was fouled hard by rising star Caitlin Clark. As she stalked off the court, a courtside microphone picked up what sounded like an expletive-laced outburst. Some people swore they heard a slur. Others said it was nothing more than heat-of-the-moment trash talk. But that grainy audio clip traveled across social media faster than any highlight. And who was there to amplify it? Riley Gaines, of course. She seized on the moment, sharing the audio with millions of followers and reigniting the debate. Was this just a frustrated athlete venting, or did it reveal something darker about the WNBA's protect at all costs strategy. That moment brought back a far older question. What really happened when Griner was locked away in Russia? For months after her release, the rumors never went away. Reports floated around suggesting Griner was held in a men's facility rather than a women's. Russian prison conditions were brutal, with Griner describing freezing cells, moldy mattresses, and no privacy whatsoever. But to some, that same grim detail sparked a theory. If Russian officials classified her differently, what did they know that the WNBA refused to say? No official documentation has ever surfaced, and Griner has never addressed those rumors directly. Still, in an age of conspiracy-fueled social media, people wanted answers, and that unanswered question just kept festering. What if Russian records revealed something no one in America was prepared to believe? The WNBA's response, or lack of it, only made things worse. When other controversies hit, the league usually leapt to issue statements, support their stars, or calm the outrage. But when it came to Griner's gender rumors, they stayed silent. Not a single official press release, no player solidarity statements, nothing. Critics say that silence is the loudest answer of all. Is the league truly protecting Griner, or just protecting itself from a collapse? And the NBA, whose money and influence keep the WNBA alive, hasn't stepped in either. That void has fueled even more suspicion, giving oxygen to every theory floating through the echo chamber of social media. The mystery only got deeper. Riley Gaines' allegations against the WNBA have not been proven. They may never be, but the sheer possibility of a coordinated top-down order to silence questions about Brittney Griner strikes at the heart of everything women's sports claims to stand for: transparency, fairness, and equality. If the league did hide the truth, then the damage goes far beyond trophies and records. It cuts into the very soul of women's athletics, turning an arena meant to empower female athletes into a carefully managed PR machine. And even if these rumors are false, the WNBA's refusal to address them has left fans with no clarity, no closure, and no trust. The stakes are far bigger than just one player or one season. This controversy has become a symbol for how modern sports navigate the minefield of gender, fairness, and identity. How this story ends could reshape every league, every tournament, every competition where women fight to hold their place on the podium. The WNBA may believe silence is its best defense, but sometimes silence only guarantees one thing: that the questions will never stop. And if the truth ever comes out, will anyone be ready to handle it?